And I had questions about the policy. Oh, God.
Don't you start that.
Oh, my God. It's been a day.
Is your little baby still over at Cassie's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I walked up to the house one day and it was mooing and I was like, Cassie, did you know you have a cow in your yard?
You guys are right on the money. You do try.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Okay. So I call this meeting to order. You stand. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so may we have roll call?
Oh, here she comes. Here comes Tanya and Kathy.
Okay. We've already started. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to change or delete anything on the agenda?
I think we need to make an amendment. I don't know, do I say I move to make an amendment?
No, you take and give us a suggestion
I
as
believe
to what you want to do here.
under the business meeting, new business section, under financial reports, we are going to be looking at the October financial report, the payables payable, and not the November financial report.
Okay, so I need somebody on the board to amend the agenda to switch out the November payroll to, or payables
I move that
to,
we amend the agenda to show October's financial versus rather than November's financial.
Dan, I guess I just found out too that we need to add the mill levy onto here. I thought that was part of the preliminary assessment evaluation, but it isn't.
So
okay.
we would need to add that under financials as well.
Revise the preliminary to say mill levy certification.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be under the finance piece. It needs to take and just change the language from preliminary assessed valuation to mill levy valuation.
Item 4.
Yes. So we're just changing the language because it's not preliminary anymore. It came in this afternoon.
So
Okay.
just so I got this straight, up under the, new business C, or AC, as well as number 2.
We're going to do October's instead of November's.
Becomes mill levy assessed valuation.
Okay. So could I have you,
No.
okay, I'm going to have Mark redo his motion.
Mark?
Yeah, Mark,
it's
because we
number
haven't
2.
voted on it.
Well, and so if we're changing to October report, we have to approve of October report too, not November.
Yeah. So it's just changing out November to the word October, and we're taking out preliminary and saying mill levy valuation.
Right.
Okay, can you make your,
Okay. I move that we, under financial reports, we change the wording from November to October 24th, and that we change the mill levy, or we drop the wording of preliminary assessment for the mill levy report,
mill levy assessment?
assessment.
Okay, may I have a second to his motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, Donna has seconded. Roll call.
Deal,
Aye.
Brazil,
Aye.
Conley,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Stokes, aye.
Okay, then moving forward, we have public participation. And I believe at this time we have no one who's signed up. So again, as a board, we are thankful, especially at this time, that we have this capacity to serve our community in this role. And again, we have our hands on hope, and we are change agents. And we also are servant leaders to not only our children, but to our staff and our community. And with that, it's a proud distinction to be sitting in these seats. Okay, moving on then, is we have reports. And so the reports have been put in your packet. And at this time, is there anyone who wishes to make any comments about Miriam's?
I have a question,
Okay,
and I can ask Miriam, but, so, let me backtrack a little bit. When I was president of the water company, we were not allowed to send out a postcard that had any identifying information or personal information on it because it could be read by somebody. And so I was just wondering if that's a rule for the school on these postcards. Dan, I got your card. Thank you, by the way.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Sally did such a great job, and I don't know if the person needs to know that Sally did that.
and I know that
It's
this
a
was
confidentiality
a,
thing. We got popped for it.
this was a recommendation that came forward from the National Convention of Family Involvement that we attended in October.
Okay.
And
I'm
it
just
was
wondering.
Piece of engagement. And I have to say that when I was a teacher, that we used the postcard idea and actually had the children write the postcards. And so it was a lesson in just addressing a postcard and being able to be succinct in a 3-sentence
Good
format.
writing process.
Yeah, so that's what we did. Plus, we used up historical postcards that I think your stepdad, Don Daniels, gave us from 40 years ago that were images of Cripple Creek and Victor area that everybody was thrilled to see the historical ambiance of that. It was archival. So that's my framework. So I wouldn't have thought that, is it a HIPAA thing or anything?
Well, HIPAA wasn't a thing then?
Yeah, so at this point, I can put it in front of her, but I don't think,
I'm just wondering,
yeah,
because I know
think that-
we had
I think
blowback
that's
on
worth
it.
looking into, and I know what Tanya and I are doing is we've asked our teachers just to write notes
Without
to
names.
various families, just saying like, hey, I appreciate having your student in class.
Yeah, I think if it's generic, but
I think
we
you're
got
right.
popped.
Yeah, I think that's worth maybe looking into and advising teachers not, obviously they're not putting like grades or like too much,
Well, I love
say,
the
like,
idea
you're
because
getting
it's like,
to
oh,
the
somebody
class.
knows that I'm out here.
and,
But yeah,
and
that's worth looking into.
the issue was in surveys across the nation that the communication was pretty crafted from administration to families, and most of it was around some negative issue.
Yeah.
It was not boots on the ground,
Right.
establishing relationship with parents and families.
Right.
And that this kiddo is closest to this teacher who has him 32 hours a week. And so that's was the frame of reference. But I also know that from establishing the in-school suspension program that we had to do an assessment, and what did we find out? We were able, if you had a disciplinary referral on a kid, you had to prove that you had 3 documents that praised that kid. And we failed miserably, and that's one of the reasons we got the grant. That again, it should be at least a 3-to-1 ratio of the positives about a kid as to the negatives.
Sorry, I just heard Guy Arsenal in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions?
Nope. On Miriam's?
Do you want me to speak to the enterprise zone piece now, as it's in the report?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, that'd be
fine.
fine.
Yes, that will push us down.
So the enterprise zone approval is a 3-phase process. The first phase is ongoing right now, and what that means is you go through the first phase, and they narrow it down, and then into the second phase. If they like it, they'll send it back for revision, so that for the final phase, they can look at it and determine who actually is going to be awarded that enterprise zone status. Like it says in the packet, if we get the enterprise zone status tied to the Contrades program, anybody that donates to that, whether that's land, whether that's tap fees, et cetera, they get, I want to say it's like a 60% tax break.
It's 25.
25% tax break.
I take 60.
But we found out today, actually, that we made it through the first phase.
That's
Oh,
good.
cool.
To the second phase. That second phase, I think we will find out in early January, and then we'll have the first 2 weeks of January, if we make it through that, we'll have the first 2 weeks of January to update it and make revisions if necessary. And then phase 3 starts on January the 16th. So we're another month and a half from knowing for sure.
Enterprise zones are established in areas that are of need of economic development. And it, again, is to put forward incentives to build strong economies. The community of caring, we established an enterprise zone when we did the restoration of 100 West Bennett Avenue for $550,000. We collected that much money. We still have $80,000 left on the contract, but I'm going to say from our private donors that the ratio was probably 50 or 60% of our donors took advantage of the tax break to, give us things to, mostly it was cash donations. So it's very advantageous, but the piece is that it links you up to the Colorado Department of Economics as well as international trade, and gives you networking that you would not otherwise have, and in particular with the Department of Revenue. So it's very advantageous, and I believe that this will help the school. Any other comments?
And Miriam's, no.
I had a question for you, Dan. I wanted to know about the your completion of Educator Housing Planning Initiative RFP 2024 grant application. So what was the ask on that?
It was very little, actually, and it wanted to know what the program was, what we're trying to do, and then it is a grant that would allow us to partner with people who have built educator housing in rural communities around the state already, and they would pay for that partnership. So similar to what we've done with the EASY grant to get partners in to work with us on math and administrative leadership, were we to be awarded this grant, we would be able to work with other outside organizations, not other school districts, that have worked with other school districts to facilitate educator housing. So it's kind of concurrent with some of the other work the rural districts are doing, and some of the other work. And this came from Miriam attended that
Rural
the
Initiative.
Rural Initiative. It came out of that, and Miriam asked me to go ahead and apply for it. But the application itself was pretty straightforward. And I don't know if there's going to be a second round in the application process, but we should hear by December 20th. The date that they gave us.
And so I am wondering, or Miriam said that you most likely will attend the CASB conference too to see the vendors.
Yes, I'll be there on Friday looking for the security vendors because of the costs they're trying to charge us.
One of my questions.
Okay, so that's one of the things we tabled about Johnson Controls.
Yes.
Which we don't need to make a decision until February on. Okay, so when you attend that, you'd really need to specifically be looking at this piece on that housing.
Okay.
And Eagle County is one of them.
They're awesome.
And
Yeah.
I know, again, Miriam has more information on that than I do. I don't know the names of the partners that we work with, but it's the partners that assisted Eagle County.
Yes.
It's not Eagle County School District.
No, it's,
Okay.
they helped us do the bond issue.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay.
So, and they can help with bond issues, they can help with
Mhm.
all, like, what worked in Eagle that they did for Eagle,
Mhm.
that they would be able to compare.
Okay,
And
and so I think all of us are going to have that on our radar
Yeah, I
and
was
be
gonna say,
talking,
this is-
yeah, so, but if you're there, again, it will help us. Okay,
so I had it on my list to pick up cards, but if you're going to be there, I'm not going to.
I'll be there Friday, and I don't know if I should say this, like, I didn't register for this conference, I'm just kidding.
I didn't hear anything.
I'll wear a tie, so.
but it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
So we can, so
Nobody
we can
checking
spot
if
you.
you-
Nobody's gonna
Yeah,
check.
Nobody will ask. Like I'm supposed to.
Okay,
Okay, so
any other questions on the reports?
I had a question, totally not on the report. So one of the, I think she's in ninth grade, caught me on the sidewalk the other day when I came in. And is student council being dissolved?
No.
Okay, well, that's the rumor in ninth grade.
Well, it might be after what they're doing.
Well, okay,
And I would just like to add, if there are no more questions, I have 2 points of information I want to give you guys.
okay.
Okay, go forward.
3 points maybe.
Okay.
One of them, I gave you guys J-term catalogs. I'd like to remind you, like, these are the ones we put out there. We're not doing all these classes because we don't have that many teachers. So kids get to choose. They're in the process of choosing right now. This is just the options we put out there. 2, I gave you a copy of a letter that will be going home to parents tomorrow, of all district parents, and this is about what originally was called the Threat Assessment Team, but we have changed that name to the District Safety Team,
Okay.
because that sounds a lot
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And this just explains what it is. This is a state-mandated committee, and all the people on the committee received training from the Office of School Safety in Denver. They came down for a day. But this might raise some questions in the community. You know, what's this about? It's not much different than what we've always done, but now we are trained in the process. If we have a situation or if we have a question about something going on in the community, we are state certified and being able to look into that.
Cool.
And then the third and probably, actually I have 2 more, I'm sorry. The third and probably least important, my seniors are incredibly organized and they've actually created a school-wide petition to get off-campus lunch next semester. And I am all for it, but I'm going to make them jump through a bunch of hoops before they are allowed to do that. So just let you know that's going to happen. And then the other one is, as a faculty, we've been talking about this all year, and following Crescent's lead, my junior high this year took cell phones completely out of classrooms. They decided it wasn't appropriate for junior high students to have cell phones at all. And they've seen quite a bit of success with that. And so as a high school faculty and with student council input, we are going to be removing cell phones from high school classrooms as well. Students will still be allowed to have them at lunchtime.
Good.
They're no longer allowed to have them on their person starting in January. And the reason I say that's where Stuco might burn student council down after that.
Yeah, that
And
explains
we're
it.
prepping them, lots of education.
Really big pepper
advisory.
gum.
We're talking, just explaining to students why this decision is happening. That education will be going home to parents as well. We're not alone in this. This is all over the country.
It
Tons
is.
of school districts.
It's actually a topic in the CASB
And
conference. So.
tons of research, supporting that cell phones are a great tool, but they are not effective in a classroom. So they will be removed from classrooms in January.
And there's a book that has coined the mantra, which is stolen focus.
Just think all the bandwidth that will open up.
Yeah,
Right, Meryl? All the bandwidth.
okay. Any other questions on the reports?
No, not really.
Any questions on Desiree's? Okay. Then with that being said, first time we've ever done this in 10 minutes. Okay, going then on to, what is this meeting? I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Good seeing
You're welcome.
everybody.
Glad you got to see us.
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah. Okay, consent agenda, Mark, you did the motion?
No, Stanley did the motion, I seconded.
Okay, roll call.
Deal,
Aye.
Lil,
Aye.
Conley,
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Stokes.
Aye.
Okay, the next is approval of the October 2024 payable payrolls.
And I'll make a motion to approve the October 2024 payables, payroll and payables.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Fields.
Aye.
Brazil.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Stokes.
Aye.
Okay, then next is the second and final reading of G policies. And Donna, would you read those?
I will, but there's a couple typos that need to be addressed.
Okay,
In GBB, decision-making should be 2 words, not one big giant long word in there. And then it's in the first paragraph and the second paragraph. And I'm going to read this sentence out loud, and if somebody can explain it to me, we can go.
Okay.
The board delegates to the superintendent the task of writing job descriptions which shall include the essential functions any physical for specific positions.
and probably what that means is physical aptitude.
Then shouldn't there be?
Because in a job description,
And any?
yeah,
It should be an and?
yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't understand the directions.
Okay, and maybe we'll just give we'll give these corrections to you, Kathleen. And so if Donna, you would read
will.
this?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm echoing. G policies, GA, professional staff. GCA, professional staff positions. GCBA, instructional staff contract compensation schedules. GCBC, professional staff supplementary pay plans and overtime. GCBD, professional staff fringe benefits. GCE/GCF-R, professional staff recruiting hiring regulation. GCG/GCGA, part-time and sub-professional staff employment, qualifications of sub-staff. GCHA, GCHB, mentor teachers, administrators. GCHC, professional staff induction program. GCI, professional staff development. GCL, professional staff schedules and calendars. GCO-R, evaluation of licensed personnel regulation. GCQA-R, instructional staff reduction in force regulation. GCQC/GCQD, resignation of instructional staff and administrative staff. GCQE, retirement of professional staff. GCQEA, voluntary retirement of professional staff members. GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff and contract non-renewal.
So may I have a motion for that second and final reading of those policies?
I move to
Approved.
approve the second and final reading as stated under the policies.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Fields.
Aye.
Brazil.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Stokes. Aye.
Okay, so as Charlotte so helped us understand the mill levy evaluation that came forward this afternoon, may I have a motion for the acceptance of that valuation?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the mill levy assessed valuation.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Fields.
Aye.
Brazil.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Stokes.
Aye.
And again, with the explanation in the work session in regards to the forensic audit report, may I have a motion to accept that report?
I'll make a motion to accept the forensic audit report.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Beal,
Aye.
Brazil,
Aye.
Conlon,
Aye.
Rain,
Aye.
Stokes. Aye.
Okay, so under informational, we covered the enterprise zone application. Donna, would you give us an update on the BOCES?
I don't have one because nothing happened.
Okay, and I
But I had a
think that-
couple of questions I'm going to reach out to the board president about because they just popped up yesterday.
Okay,
And I'll let you know if it's anything major.
okay, and I know that this was covered very well in
Mhm.
Miriam's report.
Mhm.
Okay, next, board attended events. Obviously, we have the CASB convention, but then,
There's the corral at the church coming up.
and we have I don't know, yeah. Yes, and then
'Cause I know
we
that
have
there's
our
3 of us there.
superintendent search meeting on the 9th,
Mhm.
but that's that has an agenda. And that is a public, that will be posted, that meeting.
Okay.
Is it, okay, this coming night?
Yes,
Mhm.
so that will need an agenda, and it will need to be posted.
I don't think there's anything else.
Okay? Yeah, I think then,
And Casby, well, I'll be at Casby.
yeah. Okay, so I think we've got all that covered. Our October one set sales tax proceeds was $53,190 and 53 cents.
So we're on track for 600,000.
Yes, we are. Holiday festivities, I know that, again, the center has the corral and our Christmas event, the parade. So the Gold Cap Christmas is going forward. We have Toys for Tots.
Yeah, we'll be, I can help fill in on this, Mary.
Okay,
On the 13th in Victor, we will have the Christmas parade. Afterwards, there'll be a lighting at the park, the Christmas tree lighting, and then after that, there will be a reception at the Elks. What was that called? I don't remember. I don't know. Go across the street. There'll be food and adult beverages for everybody. On the 14th, Cripple Creek will have their parade at the Aspen Center. They will be they'll be
Christmas
auctioning
trees and
off the wreaths and the
trees.
Christmas trees. Santa Claus will be there for the kids.
Craft show at the park.
I'm sorry.
Craft show at the park.
Park and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
The corral.
the
Corral is that day.
the corral will be on, I think on the same day. I think
Yeah, it is
14th,
Saturday.
over at the Baptist Church. And then we have the head frame lighting. And there will be head frame tours this year. Finally, they're back to doing the tours on the buses again, so that'll be kind of fun. There was one other thing, I'm trying to remember what it was. Hang on a minute. Toys for Tots is on the 19th here at the school, starting at, I think, 4 o'clock.
And Stanley, there might be, Annie's going to talk to people about that, because Annie didn't realize we have an early dismissal that day. So you guys might be able to do Toys for Tots early.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
Dean Wynn at the Post is going to get with Annie on that, so.
And so that's that Thursday, and that is what day is that?
That is
19.
19th.
19th, yeah.
19th, and the day school comes back into session.
Is January
7th.
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 Okay.
January 6th for teachers, January 7th.
Okay. Then the next is the Finance Department audit update, Charlotte.
We talked, like the regular audit, not the
Yeah,
finance
just
president.
that we are on target.
Yes, we are. I went to the auditor's office on the 20th, spent the day there, kind of catching up from time we lost our here. The hope is that we can submit to the Office of the OSA, Office of the State Auditor, by the end of the month, and that we'll have that ready to present to you in January. So we'll meet the deadline next month to get the presentation ready for you. It's gone well so far. We're getting things kind of cleaned up, and like we said, turning over that new year.
Yay. Thanks, Charlotte.
Yeah,
I know
thank
it
you
was
very
hard.
much. Yeah.
It was very hard.
And to Kathleen too, again. Any other concerns from board members? May I have a motion then for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second? Okay, roll call.
Beals,
Aye.
Brazil,
Aye.
Conley,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Stokes. Aye.
So I beat Donna's record.
Any of you can come in and watch some of the boys' game. I think it's just getting started.